STS. Today we're going to dress up a boy's bedside. You usually see lots of great, fun, decorative ideas for girls' rooms, and boys' rooms, though they're taking a step in that direction, they're not 100% there. So I found a fantastic vintage airline poster for $6.99 at Goodwill. And you can go and look for Framing a Vintage Poster to see that poster. You'll also see it in the vignette at the end when we install the lamp. But I'm using that poster as inspiration for some of the other decor. One of them being the bedside light. When I saw this great drum shade at Ikea, it immediately made me think of this poster that we have. And even though this is part of their summer nautical collection, it could be for anything. So what I did was create my own vintage airline logo for Trevor. I cut out some retro fabrics. It's my iron beading. It's telling me it's hot enough that I can, actually maybe it's telling me it's turning itself off. It told me I talked for too long. So I cut a T out of a vintage fabric. I actually did not use a template for this, but you can just blow up a font on your printer. This would probably be about a 200 font. Pick a letter that you like, blow it up, lay it on top of your fabric, and cut it out. Now, the way I made both of these pieces, this and my globe, which you can see, this is a little bit tricky, is I folded it into pieces and I drew the pattern onto the white paper that's on the back. And that is made with this magical stuff called Heat and Bond. So it is two-sided with glue. It is not your standard fusible interfacing that you use in regular clothing sewing or some other crafts. You're going to take it and cut a piece of it, and you'll be able to feel it. It has paper on one side that's like wax paper, and it's bumpy on the other side. You're going to put the paper side up the first time you iron it. And you just lay it in place, and literally this particular brand, which is, I hate this because I have to say the stupid way they spell it, but it's Heat and Bond. Heat and Bond. Heat and Bond has a low temperature iron-on adhesive. So if you have a delicate fabric, you can still use this. And you just run over the paper until it's stuck. And it's stuck. Then you could get a pencil and draw whatever you want to draw on there and make your fancy globe. I will put this exact pattern on the blog. The drawings, I'll even pull a font and put it there that you could use for your letter to get this same look. Don't forget that all those kind of details can always be found over at yesspaces.com/blog. I know a lot of you like to watch the videos, and I want to make sure that you don't miss any of that important information that's over there. So now we're going to make a little fabric sandwich here. We're going to iron the T to the globe, and then the globe to a white heavy-duty fusible interfacing that we're going to spray adhesive on here. I have my sewing machine sitting here because we've been doing applique, and really on this particular project we're going to applique this to the white, but we're not going to applique anything onto the lamp. We're going to use spray adhesive for that because, you know, clearly, how do you get a plastic drum shade into your sewing machine? Okay, yes, you could technically get it in your sewing machine, but I don't want to. This is going to work just fine. So I'm just sticking my T on there, and I really should have my white fabric behind there already. I didn't think that through very well. So that's why I have to lay this blue behind there, because it's going to kind of stick a little bit to whatever's behind there, wherever it's not overlapping. So I want to just get it on and get it off so that it sticks just barely and basically in place. Then I'm going to use this nice heavy-duty white fusible interfacing, because you could use a little heat to get it on there, and actually it doesn't have to be fusible interfacing. Any kind of a heavy fabric would do. You could do a print if you wanted to. If I went to all the work of making these little lines on my globe, Pan Am style, not exactly Pan Am, I know, but Pan Am inspired. Some of you are not even going to know what Pan Am is. How sad is that? That makes me feel really old. So this kind of vintage airline decor is a great way to mix and match colors in a boys' room, girls' room, playroom, and it's very hot. It's still part of that whole Mad Men look, but a little bit more colorful. So we're going to go ahead and peel all of the white off of the back. So now we're going to iron that lightly because I don't want to really activate the glue on the big white one yet. Just want to get these to stick together. There we go. Just enough to hold it in place. So hold yourself in place, please, fabric, without permanently bonding to my table. Thank you. So now I'm going to go around and I'm actually going to satin stitch every single one of these windows. That makes me rethink, why did I make so many windows? You probably don't have to do that if you've done a really careful job cutting out. This is not like a pillow or a blanket where it's going to get a lot of heavy everyday use. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it so that if you wanted to, you can. So in order to do a satin stitch, you're going to set your machine however your machine works on zigzag to medium wide. You can change it to however you want it to be. And then dial it all the way down to where you would do a buttonhole. That's going to be your satin stitch. So for me, here's one, and it's all the way down there, below half. Do a lock stitch, just like you're starting a regular seam. And then just let it go. Don't push it. Don't rush it. If it bunches up and seems to be stuck in one place, stop, lift the needle, and move on. And then because I made so many cutouts, we're going to have to stop and lift it over and do the next section. This is a good project for me to do. Well, okay. I did it one-handed on camera. You want to make yours a little smoother than that. But you get the idea. And you can see that really, if you did a good job cutting, you're going to be okay with your edges. So be a little cleaner than that. You need two hands and you need to be paying attention. Now I'm going to show you how to adhere it to the line. So I am in fact going to go back and fix all of this, but I want to show you the final step. Take your seam, make sure it is in the very back, and then you're going to follow the directions on your spray adhesive. Usually it says spray it well, let it sit for a minute or two, and then you're going to apply it. And I would want to plan ahead exactly where you're going to want it, because you can't do what I just did. But I want to center this first, okay, we're going to call it a latitude line. It's latitude, right? Latitude line on this horizontal line. You line up yours wherever your design looks best. So once you hold it here long enough to make sure it dries and you don't have any bubbles, which is why the nice stiff white backer is good, we're going to put it together into our little vignette. I have a desk and the airline poster. It'd be a fantastic bedside or addition to a room for anyone that wants to go travel the world.